If you're a man and you want to spark genuine attraction and deep desire in women effortlessly, listen up. Have you ever noticed how some guys seem to have this natural pull, like women are just drawn to them without them even trying? It's almost like they have a magnetic aura, a quiet confidence that does all the talking. Today we're diving into what creates that kind of irresistible energy, using lessons from Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that focuses on wisdom, self-control, and harmony. You'll see how these timeless principles can work wonders in modern relationships. Hey, this is James. I'm here to help you develop a Stoic mindset to master your relationships with women and take control of your dating life. If you're ready to level up, hit that subscribe button now. Ready? Let's get started. True confidence isn't about showing off or trying to be the loudest guy in the room. It's not about flexing or putting on a show. True confidence is that calm, steady belief in yourself, that quiet strength that you don't have to shout about. It's the kind of power that women can feel without you even saying a word. You know the type, older men who just carry themselves effortlessly. They walk into a room and without even trying, they command attention. But why is that? What's their secret? It's because they've been through it. They've faced the highs and the lows, the victories and the failures. They've made mistakes, learned from them, and come out on the other side with a deeper understanding of themselves. Over time, that's how they've built an unshakable sense of self-assurance, and that's exactly what makes them magnetic. It's not about proving your worth to anyone, because they know deep down they already have worth. Think about it. This kind of confidence isn't based on external validation. It's an inner certainty, and women can feel that kind of energy from a mile away. It's the difference between a man who's constantly seeking attention and one who doesn't need to chase it. The man who knows his worth doesn't have to tell anyone. He doesn't need to boast or show off. It's just there, quiet, strong, grounded. Now let's talk about the Stoic perspective. The Stoics believe that our true power comes from within. It's not about external circumstances or how others perceive you. It's about cultivating virtue, wisdom, and self-awareness. A Stoic man doesn't rely on the fleeting opinions of others to define who he is. Instead, he seeks to live according to his principles, aligning his actions with his values. And that alignment, that inner peace, is incredibly attractive. When you're rooted in your own sense of self, when you've weathered life's storms and come out stronger, women are naturally drawn to that. It's like the energy you radiate is irresistible. You don't need to prove anything because you've already proven it to yourself. And here's the beauty of it. This kind of confidence grows with age. As you get older, you start to understand that you don't have to rush for approval. You've learned that the loudest guy in the room isn't necessarily the one who commands respect. It's the one who's calm, who doesn't react to every little thing, who holds steady in the face of challenges. That's the kind of man who naturally attracts women because they see stability, wisdom, and strength. So next time you find yourself trying to impress someone, remember this. True confidence isn't about impressing anyone at all. It's about knowing who you are and owning it. It's about embracing your journey, your mistakes, your growth, your successes, and knowing that you are enough. When you start living from that place of inner certainty, you won't have to chase attention or try to win anyone over. Women will naturally be drawn to your energy. You'll become a magnet without even trying. And that's the kind of attraction that lasts, because it's built on something real, something lasting. That's the kind of confidence that women find truly irresistible. So take a moment and reflect. Do you know your worth? Are you living with quiet confidence, grounded in your own sense of self? Because that's the kind of energy that makes women not just interested, but addicted to being around you. Let's talk about patience for a moment. In today's world where everything moves at lightning speed, patience can feel like a superpower, right? Everyone's in a rush, glued to their phones, trying to get things done faster, quicker, more efficiently. But patience, it's becoming something of a lost art. And here's the thing. Patience isn't just about waiting around for things to happen. It's so much more than that. It's about being present in the moment. It's about truly listening, not just hearing words, but understanding them. It's about giving someone the time and space to show themselves fully, without rushing to conclusions or pushing for instant results. Now, when we apply this to relationships, especially when it comes to attracting women, this quality becomes incredibly powerful. Think about it. Women aren't drawn to someone who's constantly looking for quick fixes or instant gratification. They're not looking for a man who's always in a hurry, ticking off boxes on some mental checklist. What they're looking for What really captures their attention is someone who's patient, someone who's willing to invest in the journey, rather than just racing to the finish line. That's the kind of man who stands out. Here's where the Stoic philosophy really shines. The Stoics believed in the power of patience, not as a passive act of just sitting around and waiting, but as a deliberate, active choice. They knew that true growth, in life and in relationships, takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It requires being present, staying grounded, and having the wisdom to let things unfold naturally, without forcing them. For a Stoic, patience is a sign of respect. When you show patience, you show that you value the process. You're not trying to rush through life or relationships. You're saying, I'm here for the long haul. I'm invested in understanding, in growing, and in letting things develop at their own pace. That in itself is incredibly attractive to women. Why? Because it demonstrates a depth of character and emotional maturity that's rare to find. It says, I'm not here for a fling or a quick thrill. I'm here to build something meaningful, something lasting. Think about how this translates into real life. You're not rushing to make your move or force things to happen. Instead, you're letting the connection build naturally, step by step, layer by layer. And the more you do this, the more you develop a magnetic energy, one that draws women in. It's a quiet confidence that doesn't need to boast or chase. It simply is. And that kind of energy is deeply attractive because it speaks to a level of emotional intelligence and maturity that's hard to find. In fact, women are drawn to a man who is patient because it creates a sense of security. When you're patient, it shows that you're not only interested in her, but you're interested in the process of getting to know her, in the journey of building trust, connection, and intimacy. And that's something many women long for, a partner who's willing to invest time and energy into the relationship without rushing it. Now let's get real for a moment. How often do you hear someone say, I just don't have time for this, or I want results now? How many people do you know who want everything fast, whether it's success, relationships, or even love? But patience, that's rare, and this is exactly why it's so highly attractive to women. It shows that you're different. You're not like everyone else, rushing through life, trying to get ahead of the game. You're choosing to be present, to enjoy the journey, to be part of the process. And that mindset? Well, it speaks volumes. So let's put this into practice. The next time you're interacting with a woman, take a step back. Don't rush things. Listen to her, not just with your ears, but with your full attention. Take the time to understand her, to connect with her on a deeper level. Don't try to impress her with speed or flashy moves. Instead, show her that you're in no rush, that you value her company, her thoughts, her feelings, and the time you spend together. When you do this, you'll start to see how patience creates a deeper connection. It builds trust, it builds respect, and it draws women in, because they'll feel that you're genuinely there for them, not just for what you can get, but for what you can give. In a world that's always looking for the next best thing, be the man who understands that the best things take time. When you embrace patience, you'll find that not only will women be drawn to you, but they'll also be addicted to the depth and richness of the connection you create. Now, let's dive into experience. You see, experience isn't just about how long you've been around, it's about what you've learned and how you've grown along the way. Life throws challenges at all of us, but it's how we respond to those challenges that really shapes us. A man who's been through the ups and downs of life and has come out on the other side carries something powerful with him, a calm, steady presence that others can't help but notice, especially women. Think about it for a second. When you've experienced life's highs and lows, you develop a certain perspective that's hard to find in someone who's just starting out. You learn what truly matters, what's worth stressing over, and what you can just let go of. This kind of wisdom doesn't come from books or advice from others. It's earned through living, failing, trying again, and finding your way through the chaos of life. And that wisdom, it gives you a unique way of navigating the world, one that's calm and measured, not frantic or impulsive. Women are drawn to this because it feels like stability. It's like finding a safe harbor in a storm. A man who's been around, who's seen both the good and the bad, doesn't just react to life's events. Instead, he steps back, assesses the situation, and responds thoughtfully. This is where the power of experience comes in. When something unexpected happens, he doesn't lose his cool. He stays grounded. He understands that stress, uncertainty, and frustration are all a part of life, but they don't define him. He doesn't let the small stuff bother him, and he certainly doesn't let life's bigger challenges shake him to his core. That calm, collected attitude is magnetic, and women find it incredibly attractive. This brings us to something important: security. When a woman is around a man who's confident in his experience, who knows how to handle life's pressures with grace, she feels a sense of security, not just physical security, but emotional security as well. She feels safe knowing that no matter what happens, he can handle it. He can keep things balanced and steady. He doesn't get swept away by emotions or panic. He's a constant, someone who will be there, no matter what life throws at them. And this, my friends, is a trait that makes women feel truly seen and valued. Now let's look at the Stoic perspective on this. The Stoics were masters of perspective. They believed that life is full of challenges, but it's not the challenges themselves that define us, it's how we respond to them. Stoicism teaches that it's not about avoiding adversity, but rather learning how to stay calm and composed in the face of it. One of their most famous ideas was that we can't control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react. A Stoic man doesn't get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions when things go wrong. Instead, he practices what they call apatheia, a state of inner peace, where he's not easily shaken by external events. This doesn't mean he's indifferent or uncaring. Far from it. It means he's able to maintain balance, even in the chaos of life. Women find this incredibly appealing because it shows a depth of character and an emotional maturity that's rare. And imagine this: you're talking to a woman, and things aren't going according to plan. Maybe she's upset about something, or life just threw a curveball at her. The natural response for most people might be to panic, try to fix the problem immediately, or become overwhelmed by the situation. But if you've lived through enough experiences and embraced the Stoic way, you don't react like that. You listen, you understand, you offer support without overreacting. You give her a sense of peace, simply by being calm, collected, and grounded. You offer her the kind of reassurance that only comes from knowing that you've seen the worst of life and you know how to navigate it. This creates a connection that's deeper than just physical attraction. It's emotional, it's mental. Women don't just want a man who can be charming or confident on the outside. They want someone who can be strong and steady in the storm. And that kind of strength is born from experience. So if you want to make a lasting impression and attract women in a way that goes beyond surface-level attraction, start embracing your experience. Use the wisdom you've gained from your own life lessons to stay calm under pressure, to approach life's challenges with clarity and balance, and to offer the kind of emotional stability that women crave. This is how you build real, lasting connections. And when you do that, you'll not only make a woman feel truly seen and valued, you'll also leave a lasting impact on her heart. Women are drawn to men who have lived, learned, and grown from their experiences, and who now exude a magnetic presence that only comes from truly understanding life. Let's talk about something really powerful: emotional stability. Now, when I say emotional stability, I don't mean pretending that everything is perfect all the time. Because let's be real, life isn't perfect, right? We all face struggles, setbacks, and curveballs. But emotional stability isn't about acting like those things don't exist. It's about how you handle them when they do show up. It's about staying grounded and steady when life gets chaotic, and not letting those outside forces dictate how you feel or react. Imagine this: you're out with a woman, and everything seems to be going well. Then out of nowhere, something unexpected happens. Maybe you're dealing with a work crisis, or your plans get thrown off, or something personal comes up that could easily derail your mood. Now, a lot of people would get stressed, irritated, or even angry. They might let that moment mess with their whole vibe. But a man with emotional stability, he doesn't let the storm inside him take over. He stays calm, composed, and keeps his cool. That sense of stability, that emotional groundedness, is something women can't help but be drawn to. Why? Because in a world that's constantly moving and full of uncertainty, a man who remains steady and unfazed is like an anchor. Women are naturally attracted to this because it makes them feel safe. They know that no matter what life throws at them, this man will be there with a steady presence, someone who won't get caught up in the drama or the negativity, but will handle everything with grace. Now, this is where we can bring in the Stoic perspective. The Stoics, great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, had a very distinct approach to emotional stability. They believed that while we can't control the world around us, we absolutely can control how we respond to it. They taught that external events, no matter how difficult or challenging, don't have the power to disturb our inner peace unless we allow them to. In fact, one of the core Stoic ideas is that we should focus only on what's in our control and let go of everything else. This mindset is incredibly powerful because it allows a person to remain emotionally balanced no matter what life throws at them. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about understanding that our emotions are often just reactions to external events, and we have the power to choose how to respond. A Stoic man doesn't get overwhelmed by the chaos of life. Instead, he takes a step back, acknowledges his emotions, but doesn't let them control him. He practices what the Stoics call ataraxia, a state of tranquility where external circumstances don't disturb your peace of mind. And guess what? Women find this incredibly attractive. Think about it. When you're with someone who doesn't let life's drama sweep them away, who stays calm in the face of stress, it creates an environment of positivity and stability. It's magnetic. Women feel safe, valued, and seen. They're not just drawn to the idea of a man who is unshakable. They are drawn to the calm energy that he brings into the space around them. So, how can you develop this kind of emotional stability? It starts with practicing awareness. When something difficult happens, instead of immediately reacting with frustration or anger, take a moment to pause, breathe, reflect on the situation and ask yourself, is this within my control? How can I respond in a way that preserves my peace? It's a practice of mindfulness, of choosing your response rather than letting your circumstances dictate your mood. This isn't to say that you should ignore your feelings or suppress them. That's not the goal. The goal is to acknowledge them without letting them take over. A man who can do this is someone who has mastered the art of emotional stability. He has developed the strength to face life's challenges without getting lost in them. And let me tell you, this emotional balance doesn't just help you maintain your own peace, it makes you incredibly attractive to women. It's that quiet strength, that ability to handle whatever comes your way with grace and poise, that makes women feel drawn to you. It's a power that doesn't need to be flaunted or advertised. It's felt in the way you carry yourself, the way you stay grounded when everything else around you is chaotic. Now, as a final thought, think about the kind of energy you want to bring into a room. A man who's constantly stressed, complaining, or reacting impulsively is going to create tension. But a man who practices emotional stability, who stays calm and collected, creates an atmosphere of peace. Women are naturally drawn to that peace. They want to be around someone who can weather any storm without losing his cool. Someone who brings a sense of security, who can hold space for her to be vulnerable, and who isn't rattled by life's ups and downs. And that, my friends, is the power of emotional stability. It's not about being perfect or pretending to have it all together. It's about knowing how to stay grounded, knowing how to keep your inner peace, and offering that same peace to the woman you're with. When you do that, you'll not only attract her, but you'll make her feel like she's found something real, something valuable, and something worth holding on to. So go ahead and practice that emotional stability. When life gets tough, remember the Stoic wisdom. You can't control the storm, but you can control your response, and that's a power that will make any woman feel truly connected to you. So here's the bottom line. If you can embrace quiet confidence, practice patience, learn from experience, and build an emotional stability, you'll naturally attract the kind of deep connection you're looking for. It's not magic. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And trust me, that's where true attraction begins. When a man is emotionally grounded, it creates this undeniable sense of safety and trust. Women feel they can count on him, and that trust naturally deepens their attraction. It's like a spark that fuels both emotional and physical connection. Alright, before we jump back in, if you're finding this helpful, hit that like button. It helps YouTube share this with more men who need it, and it keeps the content coming. It's quick, free, and it makes a real difference. Thanks, let's get back to it. Now let's dive into something that adds even more depth to this whole idea: purpose. There's a certain kind of energy that comes from a man who knows exactly what he wants in life. I'm talking about someone who isn't just going through the motions, but who has a clear vision of his dreams, goals, and ambitions. This isn't just about having a plan for the future. It's about living each day with purpose, with direction, and with passion. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who just seems to radiate confidence and clarity? It's not because they're talking about their plans all the time, but because their actions speak volumes. Every decision they make is aligned with something bigger than just the next moment. Their purpose is evident in how they walk, how they talk, and most importantly, how they move through life. That kind of energy is magnetic. It pulls people in without them even realizing it. Women, in particular, are naturally drawn to that fire. They can sense when a man is living with intention, when he's passionate about his purpose, and when he's not just waiting around for life to happen to him. Now let's bring in the Stoic perspective, because this is where it gets really interesting. In Stoicism, one of the central tenets is living according to your nature, knowing what you're here for, what your true calling is, and staying aligned with that purpose. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often wrote about the importance of living a life that reflects one's inner values and virtues. He believed that every person has a higher purpose, and that by aligning with that purpose, we create meaning and fulfillment in our lives. The Stoics knew that the path to real contentment wasn't through external validation, but through living a life true to oneself. This idea of living with purpose isn't just about setting goals, it's about aligning your actions with your values and your deeper sense of meaning. It's about making choices that reflect who you truly are and what you truly care about. For an older man who's truly grounded in his purpose, this becomes an undeniable force. It's not about chasing after fleeting pleasures or trying to impress others. It's about living authentically. And that authenticity is something that women feel the moment they interact with you. Here's the thing, when a man is living with purpose, he's not just going through the motions of life, he's driven, passionate, and has a fire within him that's hard to ignore. Women are naturally attracted to that kind of energy because it shows that he's got something more than just surface-level charm. He's got a why behind everything he does. Now let me share a little personal story with you. A few years ago, I met a man who seemed like he had everything figured out. He wasn't flashy, he didn't boast about his accomplishments, but there was something about him that made people gravitate toward him. When I asked him about his life, he didn't rattle off a list of goals or dreams, but there was an undeniable sense of clarity in his words. He spoke about his work, his passions, and how he wanted to contribute to the world. It was clear that his actions were aligned with a higher purpose, and that's what made him so captivating. He didn't need to impress anyone, because his purpose was already impressing people. Women, especially, were drawn to his energy, because they could sense that he was driven by something deeper than just the next big thing. So, how do you develop this sense of purpose? It starts by taking the time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what are my values? What do I want to contribute to the world? What's my bigger vision? This doesn't mean having it all figured out overnight. It's a lifelong process. But when you start living with purpose, everything else starts falling into place. You make decisions that are aligned with your true self, and that clarity will shine through in every interaction you have. And here's something really powerful to think about. When you live with purpose, you stop needing validation from others. You're no longer living to please anyone, or to fit into some mold. Instead, you're living to honor who you truly are, and this authenticity is incredibly attractive. Women are drawn to that energy because it's rare. It's not just about being successful or having a plan. It's about being deeply connected to your inner self and moving through life with intention. So let's wrap this up with something to consider. Are you living with purpose? Are your actions aligned with your deepest values and your long-term vision? If not, it's time to think about how you can start living with more direction. When you do, you'll notice a shift in how people, especially women, respond to you. That kind of passion, clarity, and authenticity is truly irresistible. It's the kind of energy that makes a woman not just interested in you, but truly addicted to your presence and your mission. And that's a power that no one can fake. It's earned through living a life with real purpose. So go ahead and think about what drives you. Get clear on your mission, and let that fire guide you through life. Trust me, when you do, you'll find that women are drawn to that magnetic, purposeful energy like a moth to a flame. And here's a big one: communication. Now, I know we all think we know how to talk, but let's be honest, communication isn't just about saying words. It's the foundation of every meaningful connection we have with others. How many times have you found yourself in a conversation where you're talking, but it feels like the person on the other end isn't really listening? Or maybe you've been in a situation where someone says all the right things, but their body language and tone are telling a completely different story. That's the thing. True communication goes beyond the words. It's about hearing what's not being said, reading between the lines, and paying attention to all the subtle cues that make up a conversation. Now, older men, let's take a moment to really think about this. Often have this skill down to an art. It's not that they're born with it. It's more like they've had years, even decades, to refine it. Over time, they've learned the importance of listening of being present in a conversation, and of truly understanding what the other person is feeling. It's not just about answering or giving your own opinion, it's about acknowledging and respecting what the other person is sharing with you. This is a skill that can take a lifetime to master, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can have when building connections with others, especially women. Let me share a quick story. A while back, I met a guy in his 50s. At first glance, he wasn't someone who stood out in a crowd. He wasn't flashy, didn't speak a lot, and wasn't trying to impress anyone. But when he spoke, it was like the whole room shifted. You could tell he was listening, really listening. When someone shared something with him, he didn't just wait for his turn to talk. He took a moment to reflect on what they said. His responses were thoughtful, measured, and delivered with an attention to detail that showed he truly understood. He didn't interrupt, didn't try to finish people's sentences. It was clear that he respected their thoughts, and he wanted to hear the whole story before offering his own. Now, women in particular are drawn to that kind of communication. Why? Because it makes them feel heard, valued, and understood. And let's be real, how often does that happen? In a world where distractions are everywhere, where we're all constantly multitasking, it's rare to find someone who will truly give you their full attention. So when a man does that, it's magnetic. There's an energy that's created when you communicate on that deeper level. It's more than just talking, it's connecting. It's not just about the words you say, but about the way you make the other person feel in the moment. That's what older men get so right. Now let's bring in a little Stoicism here, because the Stoics have a lot to say about the power of communication. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, was all about the importance of clarity and respect in communication. He believed that we should focus on the essence of what's being said, not just the surface-level noise. To him, listening deeply was just as important as speaking wisely. He even said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." In other words, don't be someone who just talks to talk or listens to respond. Be someone who listens to understand and speaks to make things clearer, not more complicated. What makes communication so powerful in the Stoic sense is its rootedness in virtue. When you communicate with patience, respect, and honesty, you're not only fostering a deeper connection with the other person, you're also staying true to your own values. The Stoics knew that we can't control how others communicate with us, but we can always control how we respond and engage with them. This sense of control over our own actions, our own reactions, is what gives us the clarity and presence of mind to communicate effectively. Now think about this for a second. If you're someone who is truly present in a conversation, listening intently, observing body language, paying attention to tone, and responding with kindness and clarity, you're already ahead of the game. That's the type of communication that forms strong, meaningful bonds. It's also the type of communication that makes women feel truly connected to you, because when you communicate in this way, you create an environment where she feels comfortable sharing herself with you, her thoughts, her feelings, her desires. But here's the real kicker. This kind of communication doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time to develop this skill. It requires practice, patience, and self-awareness. Older men, with their wealth of experience, have often had years to refine this art. But it's something that anyone, at any age, can get better at. So how do you start? It begins by being fully present when you talk to people, especially women. Don't just hear the words, feel the emotion behind them. Pay attention to the silences, the pauses, the body language that comes with what's being said. And when it's your turn to speak, do so with clarity and respect, knowing that your words carry weight. Here's a simple tip. Next time you're in a conversation with someone, focus solely on them. Put away your phone. Stop thinking about what you're going to say next, and just listen. Watch how their body language shifts, how their tone changes, and how the conversation feels. You'll be surprised by how much more you understand about them when you give them your full attention. So to sum it up, communication is a skill that can make all the difference. It's about listening, it's about being present, and it's about speaking with respect and clarity. When you communicate like this, you don't just connect with people on a surface level. You create a bond that's deeper, more real, and more attractive. And when you do that, especially with women, it's like you're speaking to their soul. And that's a connection that's truly magnetic. But let's not forget the cornerstone of any lasting, meaningful relationship: respect. Now, when I say respect, I'm not talking about the kind of respect that's based on surface-level gestures, like just holding the door open or saying please and thank you. I'm talking about the deeper, more substantial kind of respect that builds the foundation of trust and understanding between two people. It's about valuing your partner's thoughts, their feelings, their boundaries, and their unique perspective on the world. It's about recognizing their worth, not just as someone you care about, but as an individual with their own experiences and emotions that deserve acknowledgement. Imagine this for a second. You're in a relationship where both of you are constantly showing appreciation for one another, where you feel safe to express your true selves without fear of judgment, and where you're heard and valued in every conversation. That's the magic of respect. It doesn't just create harmony, it cultivates an environment where both people can thrive, grow, and support each other. Women, in particular, are drawn to a man who knows how to create that kind of atmosphere. It's about more than just saying the right words or doing the right things. It's about showing up, day in and day out, with a genuine desire to make her feel cherished. Now here's where the wisdom of older men really shines through. They've learned over the years that respect isn't something you give just when things are going well. It's not just about navigating the easy times or showing affection when everything's perfect. It's about being there, even when things get difficult. It's about handling disagreements with grace and understanding, rather than falling into the trap of arguing or blaming. Older men know that when tensions rise, the best thing to do is stay calm, grounded, and above all, respectful. They know that fighting isn't the same as fighting dirty. They don't see disagreements as a battleground. They see them as an opportunity to deepen their connection and work through challenges as a team. Let me tell you a story. I once knew a guy, an older gentleman, let's call him Mark. He'd been married for over 30 years, and from the outside everything looked perfect. But what really stood out about Mark and his wife was the way they handled conflict. They didn't yell, they didn't throw insults, and they didn't let resentment build up over time. Instead, they would sit down, calmly, and talk things through, no matter how tough the topic was. They respected each other's feelings, and even in the heat of an argument, they made sure the other person felt heard. I remember one particular disagreement where Mark's wife was upset about something that seemed pretty trivial to him. Instead of brushing it off or getting defensive, he sat with her, listened to her concerns, and said, "I understand where you're coming from, and I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's figure out how we can make this work." His response wasn't just about fixing the issue, it was about making sure his wife knew that her emotions mattered to him. And that's the key, right? Respect isn't just about keeping the peace. It's about actively understanding the other person's perspective, especially when things get tense. It's about showing empathy, even when you don't necessarily agree. Older men with their life experience tend to understand that conflicts don't need to escalate into something destructive. They know how to navigate them with calm and maturity, and in doing so, they create a sense of security and safety that women deeply value. This brings us back to Stoicism. The Stoics believe that respect for others starts with self-control. They believe that we can't always control how others behave, but we can control how we react. Marcus Aurelius, for example, frequently reminded himself to treat others with kindness and understanding, no matter how difficult the situation might be. His philosophy was simple. If someone wrongs you, don't react impulsively or with anger. Respond with patience, reflection, and respect. In his meditations he wrote, "When you are in a conflict with someone, remember that it is not their character that offends you, but your perception of it." This Stoic mindset helps us shift the way we approach relationships. When we truly respect someone, we don't just treat them well when things are going our way. We treat them with dignity, even when we disagree. Respect, according to Stoicism, is a reflection of our own inner peace. When we can stay calm and collected, even in a storm of emotions, it shows that we are secure in ourselves. That inner calmness is something that older men who face challenges and learned from them, carry with them into their relationships. It becomes second nature. Think about the kind of respect that you would want from a partner. You'd want someone who listens, right, who values your opinion, respects your boundaries, and makes you feel safe enough to express your true feelings without fear of judgment. That's the kind of respect that makes a relationship grow. It turns it from just two people who happen to be together into a true partnership, one built on mutual admiration and trust. And let's not forget how crucial this kind of respect is in the context of long-term relationships. Over time, relationships face challenges. They go through ups and downs, and there will inevitably be moments where the two of you don't see eye to eye. But when respect is at the foundation, those moments don't tear the relationship apart, They become opportunities to strengthen the bond. It's the ability to say, "We may not agree right now, but I respect you, and I respect us enough to work through this together." So here's the takeaway. Respect is more than just a nice word we throw around when things are going well. It's a mindset, a way of being in a relationship that says, "I value you, I hear you, and I am committed to this connection no matter what challenges we face." When you embody respect in this way, you're not just building a relationship, you're building a partnership that can withstand the test of time, and that's a powerful thing. We've just covered 7 qualities that are often associated with older men, but are timeless and powerful for anyone, no matter their age. Confidence, patience, wisdom, emotional stability, purpose, communication, and respect. These are the building blocks of deep, fulfilling relationships. Gentlemen, when you embrace these traits, you'll see your connections grow stronger and more meaningful. And when it comes to intimacy, understanding how to connect emotionally and physically can take your relationships to a whole new level. So tell me this, have you ever noticed how calm confidence alone can completely shift a woman's energy toward you? If you have, comment Stoic presence below. I want to see how many of you actually understand the silent power older men use to make women addicted. And if you found this video insightful, don't stop here, because the next one takes things to another level. It reveals the 2 words older men use to instantly attract women. It's right there on your screen. Click it now before you forget, and keep sharpening that Stoic edge. And hey, don't forget to hit the like button if this video helped you, and subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson.